Seattle's got this reputation as being this gray, cloudy, rainy city, and that is true for some of the year. But our summers, as you can see, are absolutely amazing. Summer has come early this year. We are in the middle of a heat wave. It is hot. It is probably 90 degrees out, and there's no better way to beat a heat wave in Seattle than living on a houseboat on Lake Union. So today we're gonna go check out this houseboat we have listed, technically known as a floating home. It's on Westlake, and thanks to the bike trail that it's on, you've got Fremont just like 5 minutes away. You walk or bike, and then you got South Lake Union at the other end of the trail. Super accessible location. If you're new to the channel, I'm Matt Goyer. I lead a team of real estate agents here in Seattle, and my family's been living on a floating home for over 11 years now. We lived on like 5 different floating homes. We're raising their kids there. It's an incredible lifestyle. Living on this lake, you've got access to so much good stuff. We've got restaurants, we've got bars, we've got the gas station with ice cream. There's so much going on. The lake really comes alive in the summer. If you want a guide to all of my top secret spots, I put them all on a map. We've got a couple guides about the lake life here in Seattle. You can click this QR code, download those guides. A lot of help if you spend time on the water. But here we are, we're boating by the old boathouse dock, the dock we're looking for. It is just to the east of the Aurora Bridge. Our cute little home is tucked in right next to the shore here. Well, let's go check it out. Here we are, slip 3 at the old boathouse dock on Westlake. You know, technically, where are we? Queen Anne? But honestly, all the good stuff over there at Fremont's a lot closer than a lot of the Queen Anne stuff is. So this is a super cute older houseboat. It's built in 1918, but the structure probably is a little bit newer than that. It's built on a log float. The log float, these logs actually probably are from 1918, back when people were building these as workforce housing. Now they're a little bit fancier. Come check it out. This little floating home is 500 square feet, but packs a lot of punch. What I really like about this floating home is that you've got this great connection with the water here. So when our clients bought this home back, it was pre-pandemic time frame, it was in need of a lot of remodeling, so they remodeled a bunch of it. We'll show you that. One of the things they did was they made this window a lot bigger, which is awesome. I could just imagine having a chair here, looking out over the water. So we got the Washington Ship Canal here. There's tons of boat traffic, always going by all hours of the day. It's really an active waterway. And the other thing is, so you're living right next to shore. As you can see out here, I've lived in, it's like 5 different floating homes over the years. A couple close to shore. We actually quite enjoy it. One of the nice things is you see a ton of wildlife. So the heron is gonna sit there and go fishing all day long. You see we got a duck sitting on the logs over there. And there's, at least by our place, there's a beaver that swims along the shoreline a couple times throughout the day. And then there's lots of little fish hanging out as well. There's a lot going on. But when you're not taking in the view, let's check out the inside of this place. You know, a cooktop hiding on top here. You got a dishwasher, paneled dishwasher. Then you got the fridge paneled as well. So it does have a fridge. You might be looking and be like, oh, there's not a ton of storage. Well, you got a lot of sort of loft storage up above here, in addition to a couple big closets there we'll look at in a second. So can you fit everything you would want in 500 square feet? That's a personal question, but this home does pack a lot. So you've got enough room here for a sectional sofa on the one hand, then you've got a little dining space on the other. You could hide a couple fold-up chairs in your closet or in a dock box for when friends come over. And you got this wood-burning fireplace, take the chill off in the winter. That'd be a really nice thing on a cold, rainy winter day. And then bedroom, it's just over here. So this bedroom, we have it set up with a queen bed, but certainly if you were gonna live here full time and you wanted a king size bed in here, you could squeeze it in just with some smaller bedside tables. It could work. Closet space, you got 2 big closets right here though. In one, the water heater's hiding. It takes up a little bit of space, but you still got some storage up here. And when we get to the bathroom, they redid this too. They built in a bunch of storage down here next to washer dryer, and then you got this loft space up there where you can cram some more stuff if you really need to. Got nice updated vanity, and they put in a full-size shower here, really nice. underneath this really nice skylight. Now, let's go check out all the outdoor amenities and the wraparound deck. On a hot day like today, one of the really nice things about this home, you can open up both these doors. Oftentimes the wind is coming straight down the ship canal like it is today. And it's like 85 degrees out right now, but this breeze off the water is really nice, really cooling. But if you want to cool off even more, you jump in the lake. We'll have to double check the dive report to see how deep it is here, but we can't really see the bottom, and you've got a nice ladder so you can jump in, soak off, or hop on the boat, go for a boat ride. So many places to go see on Lake Union, tons of restaurants. So if you don't want to cook, no worries. You can go pick up takeout, or you can go to some really nice restaurants, bars, everything in between on the lake. I've got this great map that shows you all my favorites and all the other ones as well. There's great hidden gems in there. We'll put up a QR code. You can download our lake guide from our site there. Now, in terms of how much dock space you actually have here, this measures about 20 feet, so you could have about a 20-foot boat. Assuming you can just squeeze around the corner there, it's a little bit tight, but we're able to make it in our inflatable rib tender here, and it's a little bit wide, it makes it through. Or certainly you could have a smaller boat like the owner did right here for zipping over to Gasworks Brewing or whatever it is. This home also has a huge wraparound deck, which is advantageous for a couple reasons. One, gives you plenty of space to store your water toys. So if you want to go paddleboarding, kayaking, any of those things, easy to set up a storage rack here, store your stuff there. Other great thing about a big deck like this is, you don't have a yard. So if you're into gardening, something like that, you could get some planter boxes and you could put them along here. You could have some really nice plants, as you can see on some of the neighbors. A lot of green going on, even though we are directly over the water. And then in terms of lack of storage, one of the ways that a lot of floating home people deal with the lack of storage is they just get some big deck boxes or dock boxes. So floating home life looks pretty awesome. Wake up in the morning, go for a paddle, come home from work, hop in the lake, take a dip, cool off, boat over to dinner, then grab some cocktails at the end of the night on the water as the sun sets. It's a pretty magical life. What are the gotchas? Your friends are gonna wanna come over all the time, especially during the summer warm months. Day like today, they're gonna be over, they're gonna be going swimming and cooling off, that's for sure. So you have to be prepared to be a host. A couple other gotchas. What about parking, you might be wondering? Well, on this dock, you're dealing with street parking. Fortunately, this street, easy street parking, rarely have to worry about finding a spot right outside the dock, so that's great. So when you buy a floating home or houseboat, there's a couple different ways of actually owning it. This dock, this is a condo dock. So that means you're gonna own this slip of water where your home is, and then you're also gonna own the home as well. So it's a complete package. It's kind of the best way to own a floating home. There are a few where you are renting from someone else who owns the dock, but in this case, you are effectively a part owner of the dock, which means you're gonna have some homeowner association dues. They're gonna take care of stuff like water, sewer, garbage, all that usual stuff. But then also you're gonna be on the hook for some of the dock maintenance as well. So some of your HOA dues are saving up for dock repairs, that kind of thing. That's just part of floating home life. And another gotcha about floating home and houseboat life is that the buying process is really different than buying something on land. So let's run through a couple of those differences super fast. So with a home like this, you're not just doing a regular home inspection, but you're also gonna do a float inspection as well. Scuba divers are gonna show up, they're gonna get in the water, they're gonna get underneath this house, they're gonna check it all out. We'll show you a video from a recent dive so you can see what it looks like underneath a log home like this with a bunch of barrels. So you need someone really specialized to figure that out if you're buying into a good float or not. And then you got your regular home inspector who's gonna inspect from this up. As I said, you're buying into the dock, so you have to understand what is going on with the dock and their financials, all that good stuff. And then there's a couple other gotchas as well. Insurance companies, there's not a lot of them. There's only a couple, so your insurance is gonna be a lot more expensive than for a comparable valued home on land. And for financing, like insurance, there's only a couple providers for financing. And so there's a couple banks we recommend you talk to. They do floating home loans and houseboat loans, while your traditional bank, your Bank of America, your Chase, whatever, they don't do floating home loans. A lot of buyers come to us unprepared for that and are quite surprised. They're like, oh, I got my pre-approval from US Bank. It's not gonna work buying a floating home. You need to work with one of our local lenders who really understands this housing type. There are a couple gotchas about houseboat life, but there's no better way to beat a heat wave in Seattle than living on a floating home here on Lake Union in the heart of the city. Now, how much does it cost to buy one of these? Well, this one is priced at $700,000. That is on the low end. If you're looking to buy a houseboat and you have an owned slip, that's about the minimum price, you know, $600,000, $700,000 for one of these smaller ones. In terms of how expensive they get, well, there's one on the market right now for $5.5 million. Ended dock, it's big home, amazing views. That's kind of the upper end of the price spectrum. Most of the floating homes kind of fall in this like $1.5 million, $2.5 million range, and everything in between. If you're curious about living on the water, feel free to reach out. My family, we've been living on a floating home for over 11 years now. We've actually lived on 5 different floating homes. We built one from the bottom up. We've remodeled a couple ones, both big remodels and small remodels. And we've raised our daughters, who are now 7 and 10, exclusively on floating homes. So I have so much experience with living on the water here in Seattle. My contact info is below. Feel free to call, text, email anytime, whether you're thinking of buying one of these this summer or you're thinking about it a couple of years from now. Never too soon to reach out. But if you're not quite ready to reach out just yet, we've got a great lake guide. It's got all my favorite spots on this lake, as well as Lake Washington and on Lake Sammamish. And we've got a couple guides to buying either a houseboat, floating home, floating on water residence, or buying a waterfront home on Lake Washington. If you made it this far, you gotta check out our overview of Lake Union. We spent a full afternoon on the water on a boat. We toured every single neighborhood. We saw all the different docks. We saw houseboats, floating homes, on water residence, house barges, everything in between. Great overview to living on the lake. Now it's time for me to go. I gotta go jump in the lake. Talk to you later.